So today we have a 2020 Toyota Rav4 in this lovely grey color. This is the 2-liter version, not the hybrid, fully loaded. And today I'm going to take you all around it, show you all the ins, the outs, what I like, what I don't like. At the end of it, I'm going to give it my own personal score. Now, the first thing I have to touch on, I love the styling of the new Rav4. Toyota didn't try too hard. There aren't a lot of cutouts, indentations, weird angles. The weirdest angle is the front bumper. I think it works really well, but more on that later. Now, at first, I wasn't really a fan of those squared out wheel arches. I believe wheel arches should be round because tires are round, but Toyota tried something different, and the more you stare at it, it actually grows on you when you see the vehicle in person. Now, I really like the front of this vehicle. Like I said, the most angles you would see is in this front part here with the bumper and the little indentations, where it actually works. It makes the vehicle look mean when you look at it from certain angles. And you know, if you all watch any of my reviews, you all know I like mean vehicles. I hate these bubbly looking, girly looking vehicles. The vehicle must look mean, and this actually pulls it off. No matter what angle you look at it at, it actually pulls it off really nicely. Now, when it comes to the lights, again, Toyota didn't go overboard with any kind of fancy lights and any kind of fancy daytime running lights. It's just your standard lights, high beam, low beam, indicator, DRLs at the side, and your fog lamps at the bottom. This is a perfect example of less being more. The only thing I would change here are those ugly looking yellow bulbs at the bottom there. They should have been white LEDs standard. I think more automakers need to get on that train and stop putting these yellow incandescent looking bulbs in your vehicles, because we want the white LEDs. Now, at the rear, again, less is more. They didn't go too outlandish. You have your third brake light on top there. You have your standard indicator, your park light, your reverse light, standard affair. On the bottom, you have dual exhaust. Now, like most vehicles, the dual exhausts are fake. The tips are fake, that is. And with fake exhaust tips comes fake exhaust tips problems. As you can see, one is already missing. I'm not sure how that is even possible. I'm not sure if it's glued on, welded on, or tacked on, but one is missing. Now, this vehicle hardly drives. It's just about 2.5 years old, maybe 2 years old, and only has just about 7,000 kilometers on the dash. But anyway, out back you can see the power lift gate. Now, you can swipe your foot underneath. I was unable to get it to work. I was also unable to get the key fob to open the trunk. I was able to get it to open from inside, and the button I just pressed there. It takes 8 seconds to fully open, 5 seconds before it becomes useful, which means you can still load it while it's opening for the remainder of the seconds. Here you have a divider. You can easily pull it and lock it into place. Now, if you need extra room, the rear seats fold down by pulling this lever here. Now, I like where they put the lever, because you can fold down the rear seats from either inside the vehicle or from the rear, like I'm doing here. And you do it on the other side, and you push it down, and you have more space. You can put any amount of things you want into there. Typical affair you would expect with a vehicle like this. Now, when you go inside the vehicle, the seats actually operate on a two-phase basis. You can push it up like so, and you see it locks right there. This is more of an upright seating position. I'm not sure why you would want that, but if you do need it, you can do it like that. And it's pretty sturdy, just like a normal seat. Now, if you want to put it back in its original seating position, you pull again, and it goes back one notch, and it's back in its original reclined position. You can do the same on the other side. Here you can see the difference. It's not a huge difference. It's probably about 2 inches, but if you need it, it's there. Now, the power lift gate actually opens faster than it closes. It takes about 8 seconds to fully open, but about 11.5 seconds to close fully. Now, refreshingly, in our age of everything being 1.4, 1.6, the Toyota Rav4 has a 2-liter engine that has 170 horsepower. Now, it has an 8-speed transmission and 203 Newton meters of torque, but more on this later in the driving portion. But there is something I have to point out while I have the hood open, because for a vehicle that is $450,000, Toyota, what is this? Why do I still have to fiddle with this little hot prop stand on a vehicle that costs almost $500,000? This is ridiculous. Do better than this, please. Now, let's get into the Rav4 and see how the build quality holds up under scrutiny. So, sitting at the rear of the Rav4, I almost feel like I'm being swallowed up, because the rear seats seem to be lower. Well, obviously, because the front seats could raise or go down. But it just seems like it's lower, and you feel like you are being swallowed up by this big, enormous van. Plus, lots of leg room. You know, this is my seating position here. If I were to come across here, you could still fit one person comfortably on this side, one person comfortably on this side. Plus, as you can see, the door actually goes out a bit further than the seat, or should I say the seat stops short of the door. So if you are at the end, your thigh could still, go a bit further and you can have some more leg room. You have your rear vents that you can control the speed using this. Now I think it's one standard speed from what's controlled to the front, but you get to vary the speed at the rear. You have 2 charging outlets. Both of them are 2.1 amps, so they will give your phone a quick charge. And everything is soft touch. Now the interior is leather, as you can see. The seats are leather, but everything you touch like this are just soft to the touch. Well, the seats, yes. Ceilings, yes. Even the side here, look, you can literally, everything is just soft and has a luxurious feel to it. This feels solid, yes, sturdy, so you can hold on here in case you have a driver driving erratically. You can hold on right here. Plus you have your Jesus handle on top here, your sunroof cut out over here, but everything just feels sturdy and, you know, planted. You feel like you are in a luxurious vehicle. No rear pockets behind the driver's seat for some reason, but you do have a rear pocket behind the passenger seat. Now this vehicle does have dual zone climate control, which simply means, as you can see, one temperature on this side, another on this side, or you can take it off and one side controls both left and right, passenger and driver. It also has perforated seats, well ventilated seats, so as you can see, both of them are on right now. You have different speeds, both of them, and it just keeps you cool. You know, it's hard to explain, but you know those air hockey games that you play in movie tongue and stuff where you hit the puck and you can feel the air coming out of the table? That's how it feels sitting in these seats. You feel like there's a constant coolness. Your back and bum never gets overheated. It's always just cool, and obviously you have a different speeds here, and you can actually hear when the fan comes on and comes off. That's pretty good. You also have wireless charging. You have a wireless charging pad at the rear here. You have a cigarette lighter and a charging socket with a USB port at the rear. The driver's seat is electric. You can adjust the seat using the buttons at the side. For some reason, the passenger seat isn't electric. Now this vehicle costs $450,000. I'm not sure why they didn't make both of them powered, but that's neither here nor there. You have your typical controls, and I love this. All the glass, one touch down, one up. So you hit it once and your hands are free. You don't have to stay there and hold it. All vehicles should have this because it's not a complicated thing to implement. All vehicles, I actually love when a vehicle has this one touch feature. You don't know how important that is until you don't have it. But talking about not having something, you would realize that this car has no power folding mirror button. I tried all how to get those mirrors to fold in, and eventually I just gave up. And I thought, like, you know what, it don't have power folding mirrors. But it was bothering me, so I got to it and I'm like, but wait, for $450,000, I am doubting this vehicle doesn't have power folding mirrors. It has to be something that I missed. So I called Toyota Trinidad Tobago Limited to find out if the Rav4 has power folding mirrors. And according to the sales rep that I was speaking to on the phone, he said that the first batch of Rav4s they got, even the fully loaded one with leather, did not come with power folding mirrors. And when it was brought to the attention of the factory, the second set onwards had power folding mirrors. What type of oversight is that? How could you have a fully loaded vehicle that is now costing $450,000 but no power folding mirrors? I am baffled by this. But anyway, the show must go on, so let's continue with the review. You have your leather wrap steering wheel. Everything soft touch. Everything feels firm. Your dash, no creaks. I'm rocking it here. No creaks, everything. You can see the vehicle was well built. It's well built, it's made rugged. Even though soft touch, you know, no scratchy hard plastic. Even on top here. This here is plastic though, but your hand would never be on top here. But you can see the vehicle has been well put together. You have a pocket here as well, and I guess you can put your phone there if you want. Again, you know, driver just put his phone there, pick it up, send a message when you're not driving, put it back, or you can put your phone in the wireless charging pad and you're good to go. Over here you have your different drive modes. You have Eco, Normal, Sport, and when you press it, there's a corresponding change on the dash. Eco is green, Normal is a kind of whitish color, and Sport is a red color. It gives you that. Now the difference in these drive modes, Eco really tries to get to the tallest gear as quickly as possible. The vehicle doesn't really feel overly sluggish, but you can tell that maybe when you're accelerating, you're in the wrong gear for accelerating. Normal just has the vehicle driving like an everyday vehicle. Your normal vehicle, how it will drive. Shift gears, that's how it will drive. Now some would say sport is where it's at. You press the sport button, the dash changes to kind of red color. Now all sport essentially does is tell the transmission to hold the gear longer. That way RPM is always high, so it wouldn't try to get to the tallest gear for fuel economy. It will stay that, you have 8 gears, it may stay in 7th, it may stay in 6th. So you're always ready to move. The vehicle just seems more peppy. But in terms of horsepower, I think the horsepower of the engine is already always unlocked. There's no significant change to say, okay, you're only getting 95 now, but in sport you're getting 200. No, you're always getting that, but the gear ratios are slightly different. Now you do get a really nice sunroof. It doesn't take too long to open. Typical in these type of vehicles, it opens and closes quickly. Now it may seem like it's one constant glass panel over the rear and the front compartments, but there is a center divider in between. Now if you get claustrophobic easily, this vehicle has a really nice airy feeling once the sunroof has been opened. Now you do have a traction control on-off button, and next to the drive mode select knobs you have hold and park. Now in my opinion, these two buttons could have been combined into one, because they do essentially the same thing. Hold applies electronic brakes, park applies electronic brakes. So I'm going to put the car in neutral, put on the park, put on the hold, and the vehicle stays the exact same way on this slight incline here. Not sure why they had to make it two separate buttons. Now, because the center of the gauge cluster, except for the tach, the temp, and the fuel, is all digital, it's a giant screen, you can do cool things like this where you can see precisely which door is open, so no more guesswork. Also on that screen, when you turn the vehicle off, it gives you a brief summary, how long you have driven, how much fuel you have burned, things like that. And when you power it on, you get this nice animation. It looks pretty cool. It reminds you are driving a Rav4. Now, you do get rear parking sensors and forward parking sensors. So here you can see the rear parking sensors in action. It gives you almost precisely how close you are to something. And to the front, it's less precise, but you will know, okay, you're getting too close to something. Now, normally with a car that has a reverse camera, I would say these parking sensors are useless. But in this vehicle, I think the parking sensors are essential. And I will tell you why. Even though reverse camera has guidelines that actually turn, dynamic guidelines, I don't rate this backup camera. This backup camera is almost one of the worst I've seen. In normal mode, it has this fisheye look, and in wide, it actually gets worse. Everything looks warped. You don't know if you are backing up close to something or not. And here you can say follow the guidelines, but the camera doesn't give you confidence to reverse. Now the touchscreen is really responsive. You touch it and it responds right away, no delay, which is what you want. You don't want to be driving and fumbling about. You press it and it responds right away. It has a nice mixture of analog buttons and digital touchscreen. I didn't see any Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. Maybe the Miracast may work as that, I'm not sure, but it has everything else. AM, FM, USB, Bluetooth, aux, everything including CD. So you wouldn't be short on ways to play your music. Now I can't play a song here because YouTube will take the video down, but sound quality is actually pretty good for a stock vehicle. It's above average of what you will expect from a stock sound system. It also has auto headlights, so if I were to drive up into this little dark area here, you will see lights come on for itself. So it's going to sense it and it's on. See the icon there? I really love the implementation of the mood lighting. I wouldn't call it full-on mood lighting, but it's a subtle blue hue. Even by the footwell, you can see it there. Everything has a subtle blue glow over it, and I really love the implementation of that. Now, let's take it out on the road and see how it drives, because a vehicle can be how nice inside, it can look how nice. If it drives like crap, it's useless. So let's take it out on the road and see how it drives. Now, cutting right to the chase, this vehicle has a phenomenal drive. Now, it's a big vehicle, it's a full-size SUV, so it has full-size SUV weight, and with that, it comes with a planted feel on the ground. You don't ever feel like the bumps are unsettling the vehicle. Now, this is also down to Toyota's excellent suspension. They have always been making good and comfortable suspension. Even for our roads that have a lot of road imperfections and holes and stuff, the vehicle always seems planted and never unsettled, but more on that later. Now, when it comes to driving dynamics and driving characteristics, you put the vehicle in sport, even normal or eco, the vehicle has the power. The power never goes away. But once in sport, the Rav4 takes on a whole new personality. It's actually more fun to drive, and it's no longer just a family van to go to the grocery. You can actually keep up and pass some of the best of them out there. Now, with this 8-speed transmission, 203 Newton meters of torque and 170 horsepower, this isn't your grandmother's Rav4 that she used to take to the grocery years ago. Now it has an 8-speed transmission with a Tiptronic mode. But the sad part is, and I will highlight this again, for $450,000, it does not come with paddle shifters. So you have all this power, you have all this torque, you have all this pep in your step, but you don't have paddle shifters to complete the experience. You still have to use the normal Tiptronic shift gate in the shifter. I don't understand what's the point of that. Give us the full experience, give us paddle shifters. Some people say it's a gimmick, but some people like it. You already have the power, you have the speed. No, it's not groundbreaking speed. You know, this is not 200 and something horsepower, it's not 500 horsepower. But for the type of vehicle it is, you do feel like you have more power than you should in a vehicle this size. And you don't have paddle shifters. So the Tiptronic is actually useless because nobody really uses the shift gate anymore in Tiptronic mode. Everybody has paddle shifters. Even a Kia Cerato for $210,000 had paddle shifters. So I don't understand why Toyota can't put paddle shifters in a vehicle that costs almost $500,000 TT. Granted, that's $500,000 TT because of our inflated money down here. So maybe I shouldn't be talking to Toyota, the company. I should be talking to Toyota Trinidad Tobago Limited and telling them to step their import game up. Stop importing basic stuff and calling it fully loaded. Now, who is the Toyota Rav4 for? Now, the Toyota Rav4 is something that's going to last a long time for Toyota after all. Styling is on point. Driving dynamics is on point. You have the power so you never feel sluggish on the road. Fuel economy is on point. I love those ventilated front seats. I also love the fact that safety is on point. You have about 8 airbags. But I can't help but wonder why for a vehicle that is $450,000 doesn't have power folding mirrors, doesn't have hood struts, that fiddly little hood prop thing it has there. It only has powered driver seat, not powered passenger seat, and no paddle shifters. But overall, the Toyota Rav4 is a well-built vehicle. You can tell that it was built to last a very long time. Driving dynamics is on point, it's comfortable, it has some really cool features, but like any other vehicle, it isn't perfect. I just can't help but wonder why some of these flaws weren't ironed out in a vehicle at this price point.